Hello everyone, my name is NewFlowerGirl, but you can call me Demi, and welcome back to another video. Today we're back with another Aftertalk, all about May. So let's start. So what are we going to talk about? Well, in May last year we had the exact same races in the exact same order. The Formula 1 Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix, the Formula 1 MSC Cruises Gran Premio del Made in Italy del Emilia Romagna. It's a mouthful. And the Formula 1 Grand Prix de Monaco. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you guys my bingo card because I've updated it. Yeah, I've updated my bingo card. And we're going to go and take a look at the driver standings, the constructor standings, and where to next. Which is actually the same races we had last year in June, but in a different order. A little bit. So, Miami. It was a sprint weekend, so 2 pages about this one. And as you can see by the size of the type of the letters, it is a lot. Like a lot. Max missed media day due to the birth of his daughter Lily. We now have 3 Lilies that we know of. They're going to be walking around in the paddock. We have Lily, Alex's girlfriend. We have a Lily that is Oscar Piastri's girlfriend. And now we have Lily Verstappen Piquet. Yeah, 2 great world champions. Their blood merged together. That's just a very strong thing. People are already saying like, oh, the 2050 world champion Lily Verstappen. Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for it. Anyway, Ollie crashed in FP1 with 4 minutes to go, a red flag. Duan, Bortoleto and Ollie out in SQ1. Lawson out in SQ2. Andrea Kimi Antonelli had the sprint pole. To me this feels like so far away. Like, it feels long ago that Miami sprint pole. It felt so long ago. It was on my mum's birthday. The Sunday race, that is. Oscar P2, Norris P3, and F1's newest dad P4. Let's take a look at the rookies. Kimi P1, Harja P9, Lawson P14, Duan P17, Bortoleto P19 and Ollie P20. He's going to make a habit out of starting last and going to the points. He's going to do a last to points challenge every single weekend. Just wait. Just wait for it. Yeah. He's pretty good at it though. Like he's doing really good. Even though he's starting last on the grid. Almost every single race. But he's improving. Yeah, he's driving to the points almost every single time. The Saturday morning was wet, as Leclerc showed. He crashed on the way to the starting grid. He will not start the race. The sprint was delayed by a few minutes, almost like half an hour. Eventually it got going, and Kimi got forced off by Oscar, just like in Jeddah. But then instead of Kimi, it was Max. There was no penalty given at all. Max was right on the line of his grid box. It seemed out of position at start, but no, he did not get a penalty because, well, technically on the line is inside. Like if you set a lap time and your wheels are right on the line, it still counts. This is exactly that. So yeah. There were lots of FIA issues for several drivers. Like one driver, I think Liam Lawson, it was. He said he reported that his visor was actually broken. Yeah, crazy, right? Sainz hit the wall at 14, I believe it was, and he got a puncture, which meant a yellow flag. A collision in the pit lane with Max and Kimi. An unsafe release for Max. which resulted in him getting a 10-second time penalty. It was fair though, but it was technically the guy who had the traffic lights thing in his hands. He was not supposed to let Max go. Because, well, a driver, when they're in their pit stop, because there are so many people around him, there are like 3 guys for each tire, then there are 2 in front of the front wing. Then there are 2 guys holding the car behind him. There's a jack in front of him, a guy with a traffic light, and then behind him there's another jack guy who lifts the car up from behind. There's so many people around the car, you cannot say, I'm gonna look into my mirror and see if there's someone coming. I mean, in F2, you can do that, because then there's legit 1 guy per wheel. In F3, it's the same. But if people are like, oh, I should have used his mirrors, like, no. You legit can't. Okay? So, yeah. Even though it is a harsh penalty, because someone else actually also got a penalty this race, which I'll get to in a bit, which was a lot less harsh. But I think the FIA just has it out for Max, because he's Dutch. Fernando Alonso got into the wall by Liam Lawson, a full safety car. Norris wins, Oscar P2 and Hamilton P3. Albon P4. Max ended up last due to his penalty as the race finished under safety car conditions, which the FIA actually emphasizes on tries to not have that happen. But it's a sprint, so does it matter that much? I mean, top 8 are only getting awarded points. Let's see how the rookies did. Lawson P7, Ollie P8, Kimi P10, Hajar P13, Bortoletto P15 and Doohan P16. But then, yeah, that's the other unsafe release I was talking about. Ollie Behrman had an unsafe release, 5 seconds, though he did not cause damage to the other driver, to the other car. So I think that might be why Max's penalty was more harsh than Ollie's. But because everyone was so close together, he drops down to P14, promoting Yuki into the points. Albon got demoted to P11 for a safety car infringement, and Lawson a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision that was with Fernando Alonso. Anyway, yeah. Saturday afternoon. Ollie was out in Q1. Hajar, Bortoletto, Doohan and Lawson out in Q2, which ultimately leaves Kimi still standing. Max got pole, Norris P2 and Kimi lines up behind Max in P3. His best in a feature race quali. Yeah, not sprint. Let's see how where the other rookies stand. Kimi P3, Hajar P11, Bortoletto P13, Doohan P14, Lawson P15 and Ollie P20. Like I said, he's doing last 2 points. Gasly to start from the pits, so that's 1 place more. 1 place less for Ollie. 1 driver less to worry about. Doohan got a puncture after colliding with Lawson at the start. On lap 2, virtual safety car was out for debris on the track. That was quite a lot. Lap 11 of 57. I thought I might want to put that in as a little, fun fact of how long those races were actually were. Light rain started to fall, and I was getting all hyped up because I loved it. I really wanted it. I love chaos. You know how chaotic it was in Qatar last year at some point. I enjoy that so much more than any other Grand Prix. But then, Ollie's first DNF. Lap 29. Technical issues. I thought I saw a puff of smoke come out of the house and it was true. Unfortunately, technical issues. Virtual safety car was out because, well, he parked his car quite nicely near an opening in the borders, so easy clean-up job for the marshals. Yuki ended up getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. Lap 33 of 57, Gabriele Bortoletto stopped on track. Yep. Though on the radar, it, like with the flag system that it gives at the start, or like at the list thing you have on TV, it showed up very late out that there was a yellow. I mean, the commentators were like, someone has stopped on track, it's a light green dot. And then they saw car number 27 drive out in front of them, and they were like, ah, that's Gabriele Bortoletto who's out. Lawson retired in the pits. Too much damage. Oscar won in Miami with Norris 2nd and Russell 3rd. Max Paul and Albon P5. Nice. The rookies. Kimi P6 and Hadja P11. Those were the only ones that finished. Lawson 17th, Bortoletto 18th, Ollie 19th, and Doohan 20th. It's actually a nice list. Like them all 4 together. It's not really that nice, but still. Imola! Yeah! Imola, the start of the triple header. Which we are still actually in. Fun fact. May 7th, Franco Colapinto to replace Doohan at Alpine for 5 to 6 races. Yes, Doohan has been benched. In quali, there was a red flag. Yuki actually went upside down in a very hard crash. And it was in like turn 5-6, that area. I believe that's like somewhat the same place where Roland Ratzenberger had his fatal crash. Let me Google it real quick. Where did Ratzenberger crash? Villeneuve Curva. What turn is that? If Variante Villeneuve, that's 5-6, so yeah. Same place there. Yeah. In case you guys didn't know, in the same weekend that Ayrton Senna had his fatal crash, the Saturday before that, in that same weekend, Roland Ratzenberger had a very hard crash, very fatal crash. Yeah. Ayrton Senna actually had a Austrian flag in his cockpit, in his fireproof compartment of his suit or cockpit. And he was gonna wave it as a tribute to him, but unfortunately Ayrton Senna himself didn't finish the race either. Yeah. Terrible. That Friday, retired F1 driver Rubens Barrichello also had a very hard crash, but he survived. That was dark. Those were the dark days of F1, just saying. But yeah, Yuki actually went upside down. He rolled over the barriers, and after that, my dad basically said the person who invented the halo should get a Nobel Prize. Yeah. And also my dad also explained that the shot from the helicopters towards Yuki's car, it was eerily identical to how he saw Ayrton Senna on TV after his terrible crash. So yeah, how about we continue? But we're still going to be talking about this because Tamburello, we know, turn 2. That's why Franco Colapinto crashed at the end of Q1. Tamburello was where Ayrton Senna crashed. Tamburello used to be just a fast left-hander, but now it's a chicane. So yeah. Ultimately, this crash of Colapinto resulted in a red flag. Lawson and Ollie were the victims of that. They were out in Q1. Haas filed immediate protest as Ollie set his time, good for P10, under yellow, but the FIA didn't change their minds because, yeah, they think that they are superior. Kimi, Bortoleto and Colapinto out in Q2. Obviously, Colapinto couldn't drive. Both Ferraris didn't make it to Q3. Oh my god. But the reason why will shock you is the Aston Martins. They went on mediums. Yeah. Apparently doing your first stint in Imola on softs, then going out again for your second run on mediums, it's faster. Somehow. In Q3 other drivers caught on, like Russell actually caught on to it. So yeah, it was fun. It's fun to see. Oscar didn't actually do that, but he still ended up with pole, Max P2 and Russell P3. The rookies: Hadja P9, Kimi P13, Bortoleto P14, Colapinto 15, Lawson P16 and Ollie P19, mainly because Yuki Tsunoda couldn't set a lap time. Colapinto 1 place grid drop for getting into the fast lane before the restart time was announced. So it's basically what both the Mercedes drivers did last month. Fun fact. You could start from the pits. Max had one hell of a move around the outside of Oscar in turn 2. Like both me and my dad, we were screaming. We were screaming because we're like, yeah, he's gonna do great, finally. Lap 29 of 63. Esteban Ocon out, parked his car at the in the grass on the exit of turn 7. Like on the inside. He had a technical issue. Few laps later, at lap 46, a full safety car, Kimi, same issue. But there was a difference between it. There's a video about it, or there's like a post on the F1 website. You should go check it out why there was a difference. It was actually also in the same place as well, but yeah. You should check it out to find out more about it. At the restart, Max got away very well. He had a he got away very nicely. He created a gap between him and Oscar. So yeah. After dominating from lap 1, Max wins in Imola, Norris P2 and Oscar P3. Max now has 4 wins in a row in Imola. Fun fact. Last 4 Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, Max has won them all. Yeah, that's actually a really fun fact. It's nice. The rookies: Hadja P9, Lawson P14, Colapinto P16, Ollie P17, Bortoleto P18, and Kimi did not finish in P19. Oh, the crown! One of the three tracks required for a triple crown. McLaren has the most of them. It's Grand Prix de Monaco. Basically, if you don't know what triple crown is, it's a win at Indy 500, which was actually coincidentally at the same weekend as this Grand Prix. The 24 hours of Le Mans, you need to have won that. It is actually the weekend that it's actually during, like, not next Grand Prix, but the Grand Prix after the same that same weekend ish. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it in full. And then the last requirement for the triple crown is this Grand Prix de Monaco. For this one, the FIA has decided to make everyone do 2 pit stops. Let me tell you, the race was actually exciting for once. That's what my dad said, actually. He was like, you know, in a way it's kind of exciting. It's a little exciting, in a way. He actually said, stiekem toch wel een beetje spannend. But it's sneakily a little exciting. But yeah. Stroll had a 1-place grid drop due to a collision with Leclerc at Hotel Hairpin Turn 6. Later he received another 3-place grid drop for impeding on Gasly in quali. That was coming out of tunnel Turn 10. Ollie had a 10-place grid drop due to a red flag breach. F1 is not treating the rookie nicely. Yeah, I feel for the guy. Kimi was in the wall at the end of Q1. He basically hit the wall going into 10. He hit the inside wall. I knew someone was going to hit it, but I did not want Kimi to hit it. And then he ended up in the 111. Yeah. Bortoleto, Ollie and Colapinto out in Q1. Hamilton was under investigation for impeding on Max. He ended up with a 3-place grid drop, similar to Lance Stroll. Red flag Q2, Russell lost power in the tunnel, which is basically the part where speed trap is. Yeah. Coming out of 8 all the way to the bit with speed trap. That's what tunnel is. Kimi was the only one out in Q2. Norris, that man, I think his home Grand Prix, technically still since his home Grand Prix, but he lives in Monaco. I think just this, and the fact that his parents were there, his mum, I think this motivated him to drive a lap time of 1 minute 9 seconds 0.9. He's the first ever in the history of F1 to go under 70 seconds at Monaco. 69 still haunts me, guys. Again. Thought I was done with it. Leclerc, home hero, got P2 and Oscar P3. Max qualified P5, but after Hamilton's penalty got to P4. The rookies. Hajar P9. Yep. Good job. Liam Lawson Hajar P6, sorry. Lawson P9. Really good job. He's thriving there. They should never have promoted him to Red Bull. I think they need to promote Hajar now. Yeah. Yeah. Kimi P15, Bortoleto P16, Ollie P17, but will start last due to the amount of penalties, the amount of grid drops he has, and Colapinto P20. Bortoleto into the wall by Kimi, which was turn 8, but the Brazilian was able to continue without problems. There was a virtual safety car on the track for the debris, but you know, what else can you do? Ollie had a slow stop. His front tires were mixed up. So basically, his front left was at the front right and his front right was at the front left, so that cannot fit in a way. That's not allowed. So they had to switch it back. Or it was either that they had Ocon's tires, front tires for Ollie, which also cannot be a thing. Every driver has their own sets and they need to be bolted on their exact cars. But anyway, they've had a history of pit stops. Remember 2018 Melbourne. It was completely just not completely their fault, but the tire, one tire on each car was not mounted on properly, so it flew off. Yeah. Gasly had a brake failure and he retired in the pits. The pit lane was closed as he parked right in front of the Williams pit box. No one was able to do a safe pit stop, so this is what the FIA does. They close the pit lane. But they opened it eventually when the car was out and was gone. Lap 38 of 78. With 40 laps to go, Fernando Alonso was out. His engine smoked, but there was no virtual safety car or normal safety car because the man parked it right behind the barriers at turn 19, which meant racing continued like normal, just under yellow flags. Russell had a drive-through for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. It was said in the driver's briefing that here you would get a drive-through if you cut the entire chicane. Russell's argument was he was avoiding a collision with Albon, who was keeping him up. Yeah, Albon actually did take Russell for dinner, and people were like, "Why didn't you take him to a drive-through? Come on." That would have been funny if he did. Just take him to a drive-through. Yeah, that would be kind of humiliating, but also funny at the same time. He had a fun story to tell the kids later. Norris wins in Monaco, childhood dream completed. Now on to the next, which is world champion. Leclerc P2 and Oscar P3. Max P4, Visa Cash App Racing Balls got double points. Hadja P6 and Lawson P9. Finally, mate. Finally, some juicy points. We're gonna look at the rookies now. Hadja P6, Lawson P9, Ollie so close, P12. He's getting better at driving to the points. This is just shit track to overtake. Colapinto P13, Bortoletto P14, and Kimi P18, but he stopped. He had his 2 pit stops very late. My bingo card! What have I crossed off? Well, I crossed off Hadja equally as good as Tsunoda. He's technically better, which I wrote in purple. We had a brake failure, which was Gasly, and I added number 30. We are now going to be waiting for either Colapinto to get points or Doohan to get points. Well, actually, all of them. We still need Gabriele Bortoletto. We need Jack Doohan if he ever returns, and Franco Colapinto. We're gonna need these 3 to get points before Spa-Francorchamps, and then I can cross that off. Yes. Driver standings. You can pause if you want to, but I will continue going, otherwise this video is going to be ending up 30 plus minutes long. Constructor standings. That's too fast. Constructor standings, and yes, I am gonna make a point again out of writing the name in full, because Visa Cash App Racing Bulls have said so. Not directly to me, but still, I want to do that. Pause if you want to read, but by the time I'm done talking, you have already read all of this. Where to next? Well, next weekend, it's like upcoming weekends, we have F1 Aramco Gran Premio de España. Yeah. Also, June the 1st is Pride Month, the start of Pride Month, and someone on social media has said the person who wins that Grand Prix is gay or something. I can't exactly remember, but it was pretty fun to read. Then we have Formula 1 AWS Grand Prix du Canada. That weekend is the 24 Hours of Le Mans, by the way. And then after that we have the Formula 1 MSC Cruises Austria Grand Prix. Yeah. this video will end up 30 plus minutes anyway, but whatever. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please hit the like button and also consider subscribing if you don't want to miss any other video. But that's it from me for now, and I shall see you guys in another video. Goodbye!